We're so excited about this partnership with the TGI, the George Institute of Global Health. ANZUP are really enthusiastic about what we can do together moving forward. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your role and what you're really excited about doing with ANZUP?
I would love to. So I'm a senior biostatistician. We mainly focus on, we focus on all aspects of the trial really. We work from developing the initial concept. Obviously we work on sample size, so seeing how many patients you need to answer the questions that we're asking within the trial. We help monitor safety throughout the trial, which is super important. And of course we work on the final analysis and subsequent sort of publications. So really we provide support for the entire spectrum of the trial from beginning to end. And the bit that I'm most excited about is, I guess, making a real impact. The trials that ANZUP does are super important, and I guess working both across the clinical side of things and the sort of more patient-focused side of trials. And yeah, also you can do some very, very interesting, cool statistics with oncology trials. It tends to be the cutting edge, really, of biostats, and yeah, it's just very, very excited about all aspects.
So let's talk about that a bit more. So would you like to give some examples of how statistics can have so much impact in cancer trials?
Absolutely. I guess the most important thing is that it does demonstrate that the stats demonstrates with the design of the trial that these drugs actually work, or these interventions are actually effective, and it also balances efficacy with safety. So we're really we prioritize safety above equal, obviously, with efficacy. So helping to balance the safety aspects with the efficacy. And I think the real sort of cutting edge is that we can use fewer patients and less risk in order to get to answers faster. So there's some developments around adaptive trials, new techniques like that. Yeah.
Fantastic. So when you talk about that to a participant, does that mean that you can find ways of getting the best answers with the fewest number of patients?
Absolutely, and by doing that, we're getting the right interventions to patients faster, and we're also hopefully minimising the risk of using interventions that don't work in a smaller population. So getting you the answer faster, effectively.
And is there a fine line when you're doing that? I mean, we're not statistics experts, and so you're the expert. Is there a fine line of finding that balance of getting the best out of the trial and minimising the amount of patients that you use in that trial?
Absolutely, and although it's sort of the calculations are statistical, it's very much based on input from clinicians, input from patients, and I guess that's one of the things I really love about being a trial statistician, is that it's not just about running numbers or sort of running sort of advanced models. It's actually having a conversation and really helping the clinicians who have had the idea and the patients who are providing the consumers who are providing input to the trial, really sort of working together and building a trial that is that optimally answers the question and sort of addresses all aspects. I guess.
Amazing. One more question. How do you find explaining statistics to people that haven't done a lot of statistics?
I actually love it. I guess it's a bugbear of mine that I think stats gets a bad rap. And I think it's more about helping people get to the answers that they want to sort of achieve in a trial. It's not really about the sort of detail of calculations, although I will talk as long as you want about the stats methods as well. But no, I think as long as you understand what where someone's at and where their interests are and what they need to know to do their job, then really so it's a fun conversation, I think.
Thanks, Chris. We're so excited to be working with you. Martha, tell us a bit more about your role. What's your role in collaboration with ANZUP?
I am the Oncology Development Project Manager, and for me that's more of a capacity building role. So it's about having the conversations early. It's about the small ideas that can go on to become a great clinical trial. So it's kind of bringing together ANZUP, the TGI, and any external stakeholders, and kind of having that conversation of a small idea that an oncologist may have, or a hard case that they see and they go, what, I've got a better way to do this, and it's bringing that into reality. So it's looking at everything from budgets and feasibility, but also kind of that's where the stats guys come in, and looking at how we can do this and how this is going to work in the real world that we live in.
And how are you finding it? I know that you've only been at the George for a little while. You've stepped out of a pretty amazing role at Cancer Australia. Does that give you some great insight into what you're doing with us now?
It does, definitely. And I did have a little bit of work with ANZUP when I was at Cancer Australia, but definitely on the other side of the table. But I think that being at TGI and having the collaboration with ANZUP has really showed me the impact of an organisation like ANZUP. So it's really showed me, you know, not what's written on paper, but the real world impact. Like you said the other day, Sam, 111 patients a day are diagnosed with a below the belt cancer. That's a huge number. To be part of the team that can, you know, help impact 50 out of those 100 a day and eventually all 111, it's a big, big deal for me. And I think that the insights I bring from Cancer Australia allow me to see and allow me to understand, I guess, the real world impact. I wanted to move away from desktop research and desktop, you know, writing reports and stuff, and wanted to see oncologists and the way they work and how they influence with their patients and how they talk to their patients. And this has given me that opportunity. So I'm very grateful.
That's great. As you said, 111 patients per day, 20% of all diagnoses are that of below the belt cancer, so one of the cancers that we treat and conduct clinical trials for. So we're thrilled to have you. So in your role at the George Institute of Global Health, and it's in the name of the George Institute of Global Health, we understand that George hasn't had a large role to play in oncology. We believe this collaboration obviously is a wonderful two-way process of us having an even greater impact globally, but also providing our expertise in oncology clinical trials to the George Institute. Do you have any comments around that?
I do, definitely. And like you said, the George does, you know, cardiovascular really well, and there's pain and, you know, more and more increasingly they're moving into the oncology space. And we can't deny that the below the belt cancers are a huge proportion of the cancers Australia and the world faces. So I think that collaboration between ANZUP and TGI it's definitely a two-way street. It's, you know, it's TGI doing the operations that it does really well. It's providing the stats, it's the data managers, it's the project managers and the CRAs, the trial monitors, but then it's leveraging the expertise of ANZUP. It's leveraging the oncologists, the trial managers, it's leveraging the immense amount of combined knowledge that ANZUP brings to the table. And, you know, ANZUP might not be a global 1,000 people organization, but it really punches above its weight. And that brings a massive weight to what TGI can achieve when it collaborates with ANZUP.
You can see that here. We've got nearly 500 delegates at this meeting, and we're so excited. It's just remarkable from multidisciplinary places that all of our delegates come together to talk, chat, collaborate, and develop the next revolutionary clinical trial that's going to change practice for patients with below the belt cancers. We're really excited about the collaboration. It's from my point of view, it's the network and the shared resources that we have together gives us the ability to have even greater impact. So thanks so much, Martha. We're really happy to be working with you. And Chris, we're really happy to be working with you. Looking forward to the future.
Very exciting. Thank you so much, Sam.
Welcome.
Thanks, Sam. No, I appreciate it.